My brothers and sisters in Christ, last Friday we celebrated the solemnity of the Assumption of the Blessed Virgin Mary, and now a week later, today, the Church celebrates the memorial of the Queenship of Mary. And it's not a coincidence that these two great feasts are a week apart. In fact, they used to, before the mid-50s, be celebrated as part of an octave, when octaves were much more common on the liturgical calendar. Now, this may seem a bit odd, given that the dogma of the Assumption wasn't promulgated until 1950 by Pope Pius XII, but in fact, as I mentioned back on that day, it wasn't created out of thin air in 1950. The Church had always held informally that Mary was assumed into heaven. It had just never been solemnly defined. And so, going back even to the 9th century, there was the liturgical observance of the Assumption of Mary and the octave that ended at that time with the Immaculate Heart of Mary was what ended the octave, which we now celebrate after Pentecost. But the same idea was here of framing this, Mary's Assumption, and concluding with this image that we now call in modern times the Queenship of Mary, an image that fulfills so much typology from the Old Testament and the book of Revelation. These images of the royal dignity of the woman arrayed in gold that appear everywhere throughout the scriptures. And people may say, well, again, not only is it not talk, the scriptures not talk about Mary being assumed into heaven, it doesn't talk about her being a queen. Well, first of all, as I just said, there's all of this typology pointing to it. But second of all, this helps when we bring in an image I've used before, which is if we speak of Jesus as the sun, we can speak of Mary as the moon in terms of a luminous body. Now, this is merely just a metaphor, but why? What is the significance of the sun-moon relationship? Well, the sun is the source of light, while the moon in the nighttime sky appears to be a source of light, even though it's actually just reflecting the light of the sun. And this is what we can speak of the Blessed Virgin Mary, the pure vessel. She is not God, but she perfectly reflects the light of her Son, which is why she's so important to us. And so on this day we rejoice as Mary, after being assumed body and soul into heaven as a foretaste of what awaits us, now reigns alongside her Queen, the Queen Mother of Heaven, of Christ the King. And so we offer her our great veneration this day, and most will ask that she never cease to plead for us as we seek through this veil of tears with the help of God's grace to come eventually to our inheritance as well as we seek that heavenly homeland. May God bless you.